Hey guys, Gravender here. What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Marvel Contest of Champions. And this evening we're kind of going to be looking at the storyboards for the final portion of the Terrigenocide special event quest that's going on. We had the cutscenes kind of leaked to us yesterday. They've been posted for a day now, and I just kind of want to take a look at these cutscene pictures and see how these kind of help us shape what's moving forward with Contest of Champions, and how this kind of ties in with the rest of the ongoing story that we currently have. So as you can see in the background here, first off we have the very first image, which is of Cyclops, blue team as Contest Champions likes to call him, Marvel, now Magneto, and Beast with obviously a Phoenix form, Jean Grey, being encapsulated. And at this point in time, it doesn't really look like anybody's really all that hesitant to do anything. They're just kind of standing there like, well, dur. Like, what are we supposed to do? And we move on down into the next image of Jean Grey actually looking really distraught as she is being consumed more by this encapsulation. And then finally, on into the next scene, we see Cyclops finally, like, oh no, Jean, no! And Beast holding him back, like, no, Scott, you can't do it. You gotta stay away. So we finally see some emotion. The first one, it would seem to me like they could have had that same kind of emotion going in, but it really just seems like lazy, they pulled art from what they already had, just kind of slapped it in there and did a little bit of work on Jean herself. And then we finally get the storyboard 3, which actually has, somebody like, oh my god, we have to do something. And obviously it's Cyclops because of the ongoing romance between Cyclops and Jean Grey. So, and then in the next cutscene, we actually have Jean Grey finally fully enclosed in this rock kind of structure. But out of the structure, you can see has cracked a gem. And this is actually the second Infinity Gem that has been introduced into the game so far. I know some people probably haven't paid attention to it, haven't seen it, haven't caught it, but Thanos has the gauntlet. He has the Infinity Gauntlet, but he doesn't have all of the gems. I know whenever you're fighting him, you can see that he does technically have the gems when you're fighting him, but as far as the storyboard cutscenes go, he does not have the gem yet. So here we have a gem. And as far as I can tell from the looks of things, they're actually kind of going with the actual traditional comic book version. And I know that, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is kind of strayed away from the comic book versions of the gems themselves. The colors have kind of changed. Things are a little bit different. But if we take a look at the very first instance where we had an Infinity Stone introduced into the game, it's from this cutscene right here at the end of Act 4. And we can see that Thanos actually has an Infinity Gauntlet with no gems in it other than the one that Maestro gets. So we have Thanos finally picking up one of the gems. And from the coloration of this gem, to me, the one that Maestro gets from the Collector at the end of everything here, and then Thanos comes in, destroys him and wrecks him and takes it away, that gem there is the Time Gem. To me, I mean, it's the only blue one out of the classic traditional comic book series with the Infinity story that is the Time Gem. So that makes a little bit of sense to me because, Maestro is, Hulk from the future. He is from an alternate timeline in the future, so that having the Time Gem would make sense. And then we cut back into what we were looking at just a moment ago with Jean Grey. She's encapsulated, and you can't really make out if that's a red or orange color hue to that Infinity Gem in this picture, at least not to me, which it kind of looks red, it kind of looks orange. So we move on into the next one where Karnak's kind of let's get her out, but you can see that Thanos is behind him. Then we cut into the next storyboard and we have Thanos behind Karnak still yet, but Thanos has his shield up. Karnak's kind of, helpless to the fact that what comes to the next one is we get an arc lightning from most likely the use of the time gem straight through Karnak, and he's kind of destroyed in that. And then in the next scene, that's where things become very, very clear that Thanos reaches in, picks out the stone, and pulls it out of the rock, and it is an orange Infinity Stone. Now, as far as the comic books go, the orange is the reality gem. To me, I would think more along the lines that they could have went with the red gem in this instance. Maybe they'll play along with that a little bit further down the line. But to me, the orange gem isn't exactly Jean Grey's kind of style. And I'll tell you this now. The reality gem is the orange gem. So, that could technically play into hand in hand here with Jean Grey and the fact that she can manipulate minds so you don't know exactly what reality is. But to me, I would think that the mind gem would have actually worked a little bit better for Jean, which the mind gem is red. But it's clear that we can see that this gem is orange. So we have the reality gem here. And now Thanos technically has 2 of his Infinity Stones. I don't think that the next big bads in this game are going to be too big and bad. I think the ultimate, and this is just my opinion, coming from everything that we are seeing currently, the ultimate big bad is going to be Thanos in this game. In the very end of everything, the ultimate big bad is going to be Thanos. And it's going to be Thanos with a fully completed Infinity Gauntlet. I don't think a lot of people paid attention to the fact that, in the storyboards at least, Thanos does not have a full Infinity Stone filled gauntlet. He's been collecting them the same way he's been collecting them in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the same way that he collected them in the comic books. We're getting that same kind of story, just Kabam's take on it as far as the game goes as well. So Thanos, at the end of Terrigenocide, the finale, ends up with 2 of the gems. He ends up with 2 of the Infinity Stones. He currently has the Time Gem and the Reality Gem. We've still got the Mind Gem, the Power Gem, the Space Gem, and the Soul Gem to go. So if you're thinking that this game doesn't have a lot of longevity to it, you've got to think we're only just about 2 years in. 2 years into the game. And the way that the current story is building, we're having Thanos collect Infinity Stones. Or Infinity Gems, whatever you want to call them. 2 years, he's collected 2. Because, when December comes around, it's going to be the 2-year anniversary of the game. 2 years, so far, he's only collected 2 of the gems. And we have 4 more to go. 4 more. So this game potentially has a lot of longevity to it. Or this game is never going to finish the story that we're starting on right now. We can have an infinite number of big bads in between the start of Thanos getting the Infinity Stones, which was the end of Act 4, up until he has all of them, which is 4 more stones away. So it's crazy to think about. And now we're just kind of taking a look at the final scene here where the X-Men are fighting Thanos with Jean Grey still encapsulated in that big stone behind them floating kind of. And it's, Magneto, Marvel Now, Rogue, Beast, Cyclops, Colossus, and Wolverine. But really, that's not even the big story here to me. The big story is that Thanos technically has 2 Infinity Stones now that he can place and has probably already placed. He's not going to be walking around holding that orange reality gem in his hand. He probably stuck it in after he got it and it just didn't show a cutscene of it. Or we just don't have the cutscene of it because with the one that we had from Act 4, we actually saw the time gem actually inserted into the gauntlet. But it's really promising to me. I mean, yeah, we've already fought Thanos before. We've fought him, we know what he's like. But my lord, what can they actually do for a Thanos with a full Infinity Stone gauntlet? It's going to be crazy. The way that content just keeps getting harder and harder. It wouldn't surprise me if each stone brought its own debuff to your characters as you went through the mission to get to him. It's insane, the possibilities, the amount of ideas that they can actually go with. But I thought this was really interesting after looking at these storyboards and kind of going back and taking a look at Act 4's storyboard. And to me, this was just a really interesting story. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the storyboards. Hopefully you enjoyed my analysis of what I think is to come in the future as far as this whole thing goes. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and it's the first time watching the channel, please consider leaving a sub on it. If you enjoyed the video itself, please leave a like on it. And as always, guys, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.